And I think the hot thing on everybody's mind, as we sort of previewed here, is the ZiPs projections that were released earlier this week from one Dan Zimborski, friend of the show. He's been on here before talking about his ZiPs projections. And these projections this year, I would say, were not kind to the Chicago White Sox. They made them look pretty bad. And there's obviously reason as to why they look bad, but let's get into this.
I've been saying for a while now, I think that there are only really two viable outcomes for this team. One of which is because of the early season schedule within the first 6 weeks, they get off to a slow start and dig themselves a deep hole where if come July 1, they're 6 or 7 games out of first. Anybody that is on an expiring contract that maybe had a bounce back type of year. So think about your Lance Lynn, Lucas Giolito, Yasmani Grandal, any of the bullpen arms, those guys would be gone and the teardown would begin. In which case, if that does happen, 74 and 88 feels about right, if we're being honest with ourselves here. The flip side of that is I know that there are plenty of people who look at this thing on paper and say that this team is just too talented to be a 74-win team. But as I've talked about frequently, we have not seen this core group outside of 20 games, or excuse me, outside of 60 games during the 2020 pandemic season, string together both health and performance. So the idea and the belief that people just want to summarily dismiss the projections, again, it's a computer algorithm, okay? It's not a person, okay? So let's be clear about that. Aren't being objective about it. But on the flip side of that, if you get a modicum of health and if you get some level of performance relative to what these guys have done at their peaks, you could easily make just as compelling of a case that this is a 90-win team that will find a way to win the American League Central and get back to October.